Well, good morning everyone, and what a glorious day this is. We've just joined the A1 North. We're still in Yorkshire. We are heading for Scotland. We haven't done a great deal of planning, and the aim is to do the NC500, go around the top. But today we're heading to the Kelpies with the goal of moving up to probably Loch Ness tomorrow, and then move on from there and see where we get to. Now, Carol has a couple of places she's really looking forward to.
I am looking forward to the Castle of May and also John O'Groats. I'm not looking forward to the very narrow, windy roads.
Well, we're going to have to do them if we're going to go round.
We take the A1 North, then the A66 from Scotch Corner to Penrith. Then the M6 North until we reach Scotland. Skirting Glasgow, we head east towards Falkirk. And after a long drive from Yorkshire, we finally reached the Kelpies.
In 3/4 of a mile, the destination is on your left, the Kelpies.
What am I paying for?
The parking, I think. Hang on.
Hello.
You're looking to park or stay overnight?
Stay overnight.
It's all right. That's just when it starts to get a bit more expensive.
The parking attendants were very helpful, telling us about all the facilities, toilets open 24/7, the barriers, that we should probably take a double parking spot in the middle row somewhere near the far end for the best view of the Kelpies at night, but leave a space between vans for fire regulations. And this may look empty now, but it fills up pretty quickly in the evening as more vans arrive, and there are about 30 vans here on the night we stayed.
Let me know if I'm blocking your sun so I can move. So we've arrived at the Kelpies, and these are giant horses, designed by Andy Scott, I think it is, the artist. Erected in 2013 and originally opened in 2014. They are
Mythological horses.
You can walk around here day and night. You do pay for parking. At night the smaller car parking is open. We've parked here for the motorhome, and you pay for a little bit of day parking up to, I think it's 5 or 6 o'clock, and then you pay for night parking overnight, which is £15.
Crafted from stainless steel, standing 30 metres high and weighing 300 tonnes each, they were visited by more than 1 million people in their first year alone. As you can see, they're illuminated at night, and flying drones is permitted as long as you stay within the rules. And as the sun goes down, they really do stand out against the night sky. We're so glad we came.
We had a good night. It felt extremely secure. We are heading now to Loch Ness, which is going to take us ballpark 3¼ hours to 3½ hours.
Heading north on the A9, the roads were still good, the scenery constantly changing, and we skirt the famous Cairngorms National Park. There's mountains against blue skies, valleys with shiny blue water. Then just a few miles further on, barren, almost like the North Yorkshire moors. Then further on, back to greenery. While not stunning, we certainly weren't complaining. Eventually, the time came to turn off the A9 and head towards Loch Ness on the B851. The roads are still looking good, and we thought we'd make good progress. And it's fair to say we weren't expecting single-track roads quite this early. And there were a lot of them. Around 14 miles, in fact. Fortunately, the roads weren't that busy, but this is not somewhere you'd want to be in a hurry in a campervan, a large motorhome, or even towing a caravan, especially if you're worried about single-track roads to begin with.
Well, that has to be one of the most
Turn right, then take the first left.
interesting cross-country drives we've had in the van. We've just had 14 miles of single-track road to get to the camping and caravan club site at Loch Ness.
Situated near Foyers on the south shore of Loch Ness, this is a relatively new camping and caravan club site and has all the usual facilities you'd expect, including an amenity block with underfloor heating, a shop, Wi-Fi and more. Our pitch had hard standing with an electric hookup and even our own fresh water supply. Access directly to the shores of Loch Ness is right from within the campsite. This site caters not only for motorhomes, caravans and tents, but also has a number of pods available too. We head to the facilities block to wash the pots after dinner, a welcome alternative to washing up in the van, with endless hot water and large sinks. There are lots of toilets, basins, self-contained shower cubicles, as well as hairdryers, etc. Disabled facilities are also provided, and there's always plenty of hot water. Florence hates the vacuum. Leaving the site, we'd been advised to head south towards Fort Augustus, then follow the north side of the loch in order to pick up better roads more quickly, instead of going back the way we came.
Hello!
Hello.
We're currently driving along the edge of Loch Ness. Good night last night at the campsite. We're heading up towards another campsite in Wick that we've found, and we're planning on making a couple of stops along the way. Next stop will probably be for coffee or perhaps lunch.
Oh, a coffee. I could do with one now.
Yes, I know. Maybe going to find a beach for Florence to walk on if the weather stays nice. It's turned a bit cloudy today. Let's see how we go. Car coming.
Oh, we can't go off here.
It's fair to say, however, there were lots of single-track roads even in this direction, and the 14 or 15 miles took well over half an hour. The weather was turning, which didn't bode well, as the weather forecast had definitely changed since we set off from Yorkshire. Eventually, though, we reached Fort Augustus, and a little spark of excitement from Carol.
Oh, there might be a shop here for fridge magnets.
Well, if you see one, shout.
Oh, there has to be. This is all gift shop country.
We find quite a large car park just over the bridge, parked up, and headed into town.
I better go buy a ticket.
So I've just stopped at the Fort Augustus gift company to see if we can get a fridge magnet, because as you may know, Karen is a big into fridge magnets. What have you got?
Messy.
Okay, that's what you want, yeah. By the way, it's worth mentioning that here you get half an hour's parking for free. You've got to pay for anything above that. Quite a good little car park. There's room for cars and for buses and for motorhomes. There's specific places, so we go here and half hour for free. And if you have an electric car, they even have charging points here.
Leaving Fort Augustus, the roads were finally good again, and we head northeast towards Inverness, where the NC500 officially starts. Loch Ness is around 23 miles long and up to 750 feet deep in places, and it's said it contains more water than all the lakes in England and Wales combined. Wow! Now, as we head along this beautiful scenery, we'd like to take a quick moment to ask a favour. If you'd like to see more content from us, we need to grow this channel, so please click the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe and ring that bell to be notified of upcoming videos like this. It's totally free. Thanks.
Loch Ness Central Exhibition will be on.
Oh, right.
What's it there? Nessieland
Oh,
exhibition.
Nessieland. Oh.
Well, we didn't stop. But there is a Loch Ness visitor centre if you'd like to call in.
I guess it'd help tourism if we spotted it today, wouldn't it?
That's been hopeful,
Wouldn't it?
Carol. After driving through all this wonderful scenery for just over an hour, we finally reach Inverness and decided that now would be a good time to stop for lunch. So a park up is getting pretty important. Fortunately, we spot this one as we arrived into Inverness and decided to check it out. It's relatively flat, easy access, and lots of space. Perfect.
We found quite a good little car park. Again, the first 30 minutes are free. You have to press to get a ticket, and then you can stay here for 30 minutes. So we're having a quick lunch, and thank you, a coffee, and then we are going to make our way. What's the next stop?
Well, we're heading towards Wick, but I think we're going to stop off. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Dornoch, something like that. And there's a castle there, there's a beach there.
Okay.
Planning
Is
to
that
take
the
Florence
next?
on it.
That's the next stop.
I believe that's the next stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll enjoy this. See you soon.
First, we head across the Kylesku Bridge, then the Cromarty Bridge, then finally over Dornoch Firth Bridge and on towards Dornoch Beach. It looks like the weather is turning from the predicted 10 days of sunshine and warm weather to rain, high winds and cold temperatures. Clearly not what we were hoping for around the top of Scotland. Once in Dornoch, our sat-nav route was blocked by closed roads, so we had to take a detour, but eventually arrived at a small car park near the beach.
We've just arrived at Dornoch Beach. Carol is taking Florence out for a little bit of exercise while I make coffee.
With the wind blowing really hard, temperatures feeling like sub-zero, and sun blowing literally everywhere, neither Carol or Florence were keen on a beach walk. So, after coffee, we decided to press on to Dunrobin Castle, hoping for a quick break in the weather. Located just north of Golspie and overlooking the Dornoch Firth, Dunrobin Castle has been open to the public since 1973. While most of it was added between 1835 and 1850, the origins are much older.
Just arrived at Dunrobin Castle. We're going to walk the dog down to see what's there. So from the pictures, it looks like this is the back of the castle, and we perhaps should have come down here with a motorhome instead of going in the car park, but oh well.
If you want to check the ticket prices, just pause the video. Note that tickets are required even to get to the tea room or gift shop. Though Carol's negotiating skills on this occasion did get her to the gift shop without a ticket to purchase that all-important fridge magnet. Note that dogs are not allowed in the house, nor the gardens, so I stayed outside with Florence. The gardens are magnificent and well worth visiting in good weather.
We're just leaving the castle. I managed to get in and have a quick look at the gardens, and I've purchased a fridge magnet, which is compulsory for me on our tour around Scotland, and we're now heading... Where are we heading to?
We're heading up to Wick.
Up to Wick.
As we leave Dunrobin Castle, we're reminded that most guides suggest going in an anti-clockwise direction around the NC500, heading first up the east coast to Wick, across the top, and then down the west coast. The scenery on the route up to Wick is pleasant enough, but it's not jaw-dropping and could easily provide an anticlimax for anyone starting in the west going clockwise, so we definitely agree with the guide recommendations on this one. Eventually, we arrive in Wick and decide to head to Tesco to top up with food before going to the campsite. It's also our first fuel stop since leaving Yorkshire.
Well, we've made it to Wick. Today's been a long old drive. Longer than I would probably want to do. I might think about, if we come next time, adding an extra stop. We've done 562 miles from home to get here. Been driving for 14 hours and 7 minutes. Averaged 38.6 miles per gallon with an average speed of 40 miles an hour. We have done a lot of single track roads.
After refueling, we're now heading to Wick River Campsite, which does have a height limit of 2.89 metres on the normal entrance, but there is an alternative route for motorhomes above this limit if required. Just be careful. As the name suggests, the campsite is located next to the river, and there's a handy footpath from the campsite along the river for those wanting to explore the town of Wick on foot. The large modern facilities block includes washing up stations, washing machines and dryers, as well as phone charging and fridges. The toilets and showers were large, modern, clean and warm, with plenty of hot water. The loud piped music wasn't quite to our taste, but other than that, we have no complaints about these facilities at all. Newly opened in 2025, the reception building includes a vending machine, toilets, both in and outside eating areas, as well as a coffee machine, microwaves, and even e-bike hire too. There's a shop stocked with barbecue supplies, tinned and frozen foods, as well as ice cream, milk, cheese, and meats. Sadly, the weather deteriorated even more overnight, with the wind picking up and raining hard.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
We're just leaving the campsite at Wick, a very wet and windy Wick. We had a good night there. It's a very good campsite. I do recommend that campsite. Give them 10 out of 10.
Yes.
And we're now going to head into Wick itself, because apparently the world's shortest street is in Wick.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left onto Bankhead Road.
So sat-nav is hopefully taking us there. Let's see how we go.
Ebenezer Place is officially recognised by the Guinness World Records as the shortest street in the world, at just 6 feet 9 inches, or just over 2 metres.
And it's worth a visit just to say you've been here.
Now, on to Castle Sinclair Girnigoe and Noss Head. There's more single-track roads here, almost 4 miles of them driving up towards the castle and Noss Head Lighthouse. Sadly, the weather wasn't on our side yet again, and the wind had picked up significantly, preventing us going down to the castle itself. The website does warn it can be closed in these situations. Noss Head was also pretty windy, and trying to keep a video camera still was pretty hard. Disappointed, we head back down the single-track roads and press on to John O'Groats.
We're in John O'Groats, famous for the sign, which we're hoping to get to. But this is not actually the most northerly place in the UK mainland. Leave a comment below if you know where it is. We may be visiting that shortly.
I've been looking forward to John O'Groats for years, but it doesn't look like the weather is going to cooperate. It's extremely windy, trying to rain, and as I look around, people are definitely wrapped up. Oh well, let's see what's here.
There's really not a lot at John O'Groats, other than a couple of gift shops, toilets, a coffee shop with knitwear, a cafe, and of course the famous sign.
Doing our best to stay upright.
So there's a gift shop. Well, there's a Christmas shop as well. Just exactly the thing you need in May. Cold.
There's a large selection of gifts, both John O'Groats and the NC500, as well as the usual Scotland memorabilia. There's also a wide range of prices, so everyone should be able to find something here. Made in Scotland, Caithness paperweights make an excellent gift, with prices ranging from £70 to £80. We didn't stay long in the Christmas shop, as my main focus was finding the perfect fridge magnet.
Parking is £3.50 per day, with no overnight camping or motorhome parking allowed. Having got the fridge magnet and a photo of the sign, we're now off to the Castle of May.
Amazingly, we have Carol driving at the moment.
Located around 6 miles west of John O'Groats and built between 1566 and 1572 by the 4th Earl of Caithness, Castle of May is more famous as the holiday home of the late Queen Mother, acquired in 1952 following the death of King George VI. The castle is open to the public from the start of May to the end of September each year.
and a new visitor centre, including a tea room, was opened in 2007 by the Duke and Duchess of Rothesay, now King Charles III and Queen Camilla. You can even buy a lithograph of a painting by the King himself. Dogs are allowed in the grounds, though not in the castle itself, so Carol's now abandoned me and Florence, not for the first time, while she entered the warmth of the castle and we were left outside.
Carol's gone in. I am waiting outside with Florence. And when Carol comes out, I'll go in and Carol will probably head back to the visitor centre where it's nice and warm. Meanwhile, I have to stand out in the freezing cold. It's really windy, it's really cold, and I have no idea how much it's going to be.
We've now left the Castle of May and are heading towards Dunnet Head, the most northerly point on the UK mainland. The roads are definitely single track, but with frequent passing places, this hasn't been a problem so far. As we arrive, the weather hasn't changed, so it's still cold, very windy, with rain showers coming and going. Dunnet Head has a motorhome and camper-friendly car park, with parking being as little as £1 for up to 2 hours and £5 for 24 hours. And yes, you can park here overnight. Restrictions are that all activity needs to remain within the vehicle, so no getting the tables, chairs and barbecues out. Built by Robert Stevenson, the lighthouse dates from 1831, and the adjacent cottages were home to the lighthouse keepers and their families until 1989, when it was finally made fully automatic. There's also lots of nesting birds here, including puffins, though in this wind there wasn't much activity. Now, as we leave Dunnet Head, we're heading towards Thurso, which, as a fun fact, has the most northerly railway station in mainland UK. There's a Tesco at Thurso, but it's much smaller than the one at Wick, so may not stock everything you're looking for. Thurso would also be a good place to top up with fuel if you haven't already.
Turn right onto Trail Street.
We're heading to our campsite for the night. The roads are still 2-lane and pretty good so far. The campsite we're heading for has good parking on the entrance, and the centre grass section is used for camping and children's play only. Dog walking in this area is prohibited.
Okay, so what did you think of the campsite?
It wasn't the best we've stayed at on the route. There were a few things I noticed, like the 2 hand dryers in the ladies weren't working. There wasn't any liquid soap, and someone had to go for some last night, which is not good. But it was clean. I assume the hairdryer worked, I don't know.
The gents was actually very clean, it was warm. Everything worked as far as I could tell. There was soap there. The shower cubicles were big enough, the toilets were there. Not a problem. It was just blowing a gale all night.
Yeah.
Which you can't blame the campsite for.
No, it's extremely cold.
It's very, very cold. And we're up early to try and get a head start, because I don't know how long it's going to take to get down to Ullapool today.
Oh, we should perhaps mention our clothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone, pink job this, someone forgot to pack the long sleeve shirts and jumpers.
We're now on a long, winding, single-track roads. The scenery is still mostly moorland, with cows along the side of the road. After a while, we reach more coastal area, with roads getting a little narrower and rougher, but at least there's more to look at now. We reach the Tongue Causeway and the Kylesku Bridge. Built in 1971, the causeway is 2.4 miles long, crossing the natural Tongue Island, as well as a bridge, which was fully refurbished in 2011. Although initially back to moorland, the scenery does at least start to get a little more interesting, and further on still brings us back to the coast. Navigating mixture of more single track and 2-lane roads, we come to a free car park at the top of the cliffs, and then set out to explore Smoo Cave. The path down to Smoo Cave is generally well made, though the steps can be high in places and holding onto the handrail is highly recommended. And if you struggle with mobility, especially climbing steps, I'd probably skip this location. The tide was out today, but I understand when the tide is in, you can tour the cave by boat. There's a long wooden bridge across the stream, from where you get your initial view of the cave. Then a path leads from the bridge into the cave, and I bet this gets pretty busy in summer months. Once in the cave, there's a further small covered bridge that takes you through to a second chamber, which for me at least was a bit of an anticlimax. I've seen YouTube videos showing a waterfall and people getting all excited, but there was nothing going on here at all. Back on the road, we head south, bypassing many of the usual stops people make at beaches and coves due to the weather. But we're enjoying the new scenery. A little sun, temporary blue skies and very pleasant winding roads. And of course the rain returns as we head towards the Kylesku Bridge, with car parks on both north and south sides. This is a good place to stop for lunch.
Having a toasted cheese sandwich. Sorry, you're not. I'm having a toasted cheese sandwich and you're having a toasted ham sandwich.
Okay.
Sadly, we've no crisps to use as a garnish.
Following lunch, we head out to take photos of this now iconic bridge, then travel across it on our way south. At a final cost of £4 million and opened by the Queen on the 8th of August 1984, it spans 120 metres of water with fast tidal currents below up to 25 metres deep. We continue south through winding roads and changing scenery, hoping to stop at the Wailing Widow Falls. We've noticed that the vast majority of stopping places are on the opposite side of the road, many of them full, others on blind bends in the road, making it hard to safely cross to park. If you're looking to stop on these laybys, it's much easier if you're heading north rather than south. On the right here is Ardfret Castle. Now, this part of the route is pleasant enough, but it's not jaw-dropping, so we continue to head south.
So we're heading off down to Ullapool. We're going to call in at Tesco's if they're still open. It's a Sunday. We're supposed to be there about 2:15. Hopefully they're still open. Grab something for dinner tonight.
Ullapool is the next Tesco, in case you missed calling in Wick or Thurso. And as far as I know, there's no other large supermarkets around the top. Heading back north from Ullapool, the scenery looks even better in this direction, and we finally arrive at our campsite for the night. After checking in, we pull into our hard-standing pitch with a beautiful view across the bay. All the grass pitches in front were reserved, and within an hour or so, more vans arrived to occupy them. We took Florence for a walk on the beach. It's a rocky beach rather than sand, but the water was really nice, calm and lapping against the rocks. Now, this campsite was completely full. They told us every pitch was taken. And when I went for my shower at night, there was no hot water. It was all cold. I had to shower in the van. Disappointing. But tomorrow is a new day. So, with the sun out and our spirits up, we've decided to set off early towards Corrieshalloch Gorge, one of the most spectacular gorges of its type, not only in Scotland, but the whole of Britain. Now managed by the Scottish National Trust, the gorge is almost a mile long and 200 feet deep. Dropping more than 150 feet, the Falls of Meesack can be viewed from a Victorian suspension bridge, constructed in the 1870s, as well as a viewing platform a little further down. The viewing platform and the bridge have a limit of 6 people at any one time, and with good reason. The bridge sways gently as people walk across it, making it hard to get a steady photo or video of the falls or the gorge. There's also a walk through the woods up to a viewing point, and while the paths are generally good, there are some steep areas and enough rough places to make it not really wheelchair friendly. And having got there, I did wonder why we'd bothered. The view is now blocked by trees, which probably weren't there when it was created. Oh well. On the way back, there's a couple of smaller waterfalls to be seen as well. Plus the shallower waters that people seem to enjoy. Back at the visitor centre, parking is £5 for cars, £10 for vans and motorhomes, but free if you're a member of either the Scottish or English National Trust. The centre includes a small cafe and plaques talking about their eco-friendly design. We had a couple of warm sausage rolls. Carol had a cold drink and I had a hot chocolate. After the disappointment of the cold, windy Highlands, this scenery was improving hour by hour, and we followed the railway tracks for much of the way. Completed in 1897, the railway to the Kylesku Bridge was the most expensive railway per mile built in Britain at that time. Lots of single-track roads going in this direction too. And the roads are also much busier. Eventually, we make it to the Kylesku Bridge and head over the Skye Bridge, stretching 1,500 metres overall, with a 250-metre centre span. The Skye Bridge opened in 1995, replacing a local ferry service. Initially, the drivers had to pay an £11.40 round-trip toll, but after a long campaign, the Scottish Government bought the bridge and removed the tolls in December 2004. Now, the goal to visit Skye today was not to visit any particular place or attraction, but just to get a sense of what Skye was like, particularly compared to the west coast of the Highlands, and we were not disappointed.
If you're doing the NC500 so that you can say you've done it, do it. I've enjoyed driving it. But if you're coming for scenery, Skye beats everything we've seen on the NC500. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
We are definitely coming back to Skye.
I'll come back here.
Finally, heading back to the mainland, we stop at the Kylesku Bridge so Carol could buy a fridge magnet, and then head off to the campsite at Rireg, just a couple of miles further down the road. In fact, it's so close you can see the Skye Bridge from Rireg itself. The site was the very first time we'd encountered the Scottish midges, and being parked next to the large hedge, they were in abundance around our van. The facilities were clean and warm, though perhaps a little dated in design. Nevertheless, we had a comfortable night and even had fish and chips at the hotel next door. After an early morning stroll with Florence, we set off for Dunrobin Castle and then Glencoe for even more great scenery. Dunrobin Castle sits on a small tidal island where Loch Duich, Loch Long and Loch Alsh meet. In addition to a large pay and display car park, there's the obligatory visitor centre with a ticket office, coffee shop and even a food hall. Note that backpacks aren't allowed in the castle, so leave them in your car or use the locker service provided. It is certainly a popular destination. Destroyed in 1719 during the failed Jacobite risings, the castle was restored in the early 1900s using historical plans plus a bit of imagination. It's appeared in several movies, including Highlander, The World Is Not Enough, and Elizabeth, The Golden Age. Back on the road, we're headed for Glencoe, with towering peaks and deep valleys. It's very popular with walkers. If you're driving through the Highlands, Glencoe is unmissable. But make no mistake, it's likely to be very busy. We're staying in Glencoe at the Camping and Caravan Club site, which sits next door to the Glencoe Visitor Centre. We arrived just before closing, so didn't get a good chance to look around. But the gift shop has a large range of goods for purchase, including stuffed Highland cows, Nessie, and the traditional Scotch whisky and gift sets. At least Carol got her fridge magnet before they closed. Florence even found a new friend. Where are we tonight?
We're in Glencoe, Scotland,
And why are we in Glencoe tonight?
because we couldn't get into Glencoe any other day, and we've had to work around that.
Yeah, so this is a caravan and camping club site, and it's chock-a-block. It's completely booked up from tomorrow onwards. So today was the last day that I could find a booking within the time window that we had to do this trip, and it has been a bit of an express trip. We drove up on the Wednesday night to the Kelpies, really enjoyed those. Then up to Wick the next day, across to Malavich, I can't remember the name of it, the next day, and then down to Ullapool. So we've kind of raced around the top side of it, but in any event, it was freezing cold up there. John O'Groats, Castle of May. Yeah, the
It was
really windy.
It was like winter in Yorkshire.
Yeah. Seriously cold.
And I've packed for summer in the Caribbean. You know, I thought it was going to be warm because that's
Hence
what we
I'm
were
wearing
told.
the same jumper again because this is the only one she brought me. So we haven't done all the beaches that we wanted to do, the white sandy beaches. We haven't been to a lot of the locations we wanted to go to because it was so cold. On the other hand, I think we've raced around a little bit too quickly. We definitely want to take more time. If it was nice weather, we could have extended this by another 3, 4, 5 days.
Oh, even weeks.
Even weeks, yeah. I mean, we're down here a week after we set off, and it's either a very long drive home tonight from Glencoe, or we might find somewhere to stay tomorrow night. We don't know yet.
I'm thinking we could stop near Gretna Green. Somewhere near there.
There isn't a shopping mall there, is there?
I don't know.
Let me tell you, as we drove up, she says, "Oh, there's a shopping sign." And I went, "Yeah, but there's the Scotland sign. We're going past the Scotland sign." And she said, "We've missed the shopping." Oh dear. Leaving the campsite, we're hoping to stop at several popular viewpoints along the way, including the Three Sisters and the Little White Cottage. Sadly, the car park for the Three Sisters was already full. Perhaps photographers, but more likely walkers who seemed to park for the day and go roaming. But we did manage to get in at the Little White Cottage, so parked and went to take photos.
Been to see the Little White Cottage, which seems to be photographed a lot, doesn't it?
Yes.
I understand it's owned by the Scottish version of the National Trust. Are they called the Scottish Trust?
National.
Oh, right, okay. Okay. And I understand that you can not rent it out, but people that are climbing the hills can use it. So I assume that you'd have to go through them, the Scottish National Trust, to use it. Nice place. I have a feeling that once we move out of here, it'll be filled within a minute, don't you?
Yeah, the lay-by we're at, and we'll put the what 3 words because that is useful. The lay-by we're at is definitely used by walkers, and they seem to park up for the day.
And go.
So if you are going to come here to take pictures or to walk, get here early. By just after 9, it was full. We're now going to be moving on, which will obviously leave a giant space and will make somebody's day. Because
Oh yeah, they'll probably be able to get 2 vehicles in here.
I think so. So onwards and upwards. Next call is a Tesco Express in the sat-nav for some diesel. So off we go.
See you later.
Bye.
We leave Glencoe with the goal of stopping for fuel, and then heading south while looking for a suitable site to break up the journey home. But after phoning 7 or 8 sites, all of which said they were full tonight, we decide to just push on home. Though, still being in Scotland, there's one more milestone to hit.
Welcome to England.
If you've enjoyed this video, please click the like button. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button to see more videos from us. Thanks for watching. See you next time.